In this video, we are going to discuss about human resource management. And after going through this video, you can understand the concept of human resource management and the definition and the characteristics as well as the objectives and evolution of the human resource management. So, you can even understand the scope and the functions and the importance of human resource management also. So this human resource management is basically concerned with well-being or human beings in an organization. So each and every business entity in the world should apply to its business the concept of human resource management, should adopt this concept for their growth in the business as well as in the growth in the profits as well. So if we discuss the definition of the human resource management in detail, it states that the definition was given by National Institute of Personnel Management. So the if we go through the definition, it states that the management which is concerned with the people at the work. So basically at the work mean at the organization. So it aims to bring together and develop into an efficient organization of men as well as women, so who make an enterprise and having regard for the well-being of an individual. So if we analyze the definition, we can understand that the human resource management is basically concerned with the well-being of an individual of a working group. So and this also enables them to make the best contribution for its success of the organization. So here HRM, human resource management, is basically concerned with the well-being of a workers in an organization. So, if we talk about the concept of human resource management in detail, so basically the term human resource management is concerned with the well-being in an organization. So, it reflects a new philosophy, it reflects a new outlook and a different strategy and approach, which views the organization's manpower as its resources. So it in the present scenario, so the human resource management is used as a synonym to the personnel management and the personnel department, which is called as HR department. So all the job recruitment process in the companies are done by HR department, which is known as human resource department. So the role of human resource management is changing from time to time and day by day, and it is also becoming very essential and very dynamic in nature too. So the evolution and the development of human resource management in India was not voluntary like in the countries like UK and USA. So after the First World War, the country was in difficulty with various malpractices in the recruitment of the workers. So if there is any malpractice in the recruitment, the output of the company, the production of the company will be affected because of lack of eligibility to the workers. So and the workers and the payment of the wages were also leading to the trade unionism in the organization, and this is the major cause for loss of production. So the India adopted the strategy of human resource management. So if we talk about the main function of human resource management is to effectively utilize available human resource by developing their competencies in tune with the organization's requirement. So basically changing or converting the human resources with the objectives of organization. So the functions of human resource management are broadly classified into two categories. The first category is managerial and the second category is operative. So many people feel that the human resource management is a line manager's responsibility rather than the staff function. So the line managers are held responsible for attaining the objectives of the respective departments effectively by the managing materials, machinery, money and men. So as all the functions of the management are performed through and by the people, the responsibility of management of those people in the hands of the line manager is important. So the line organization, which involves those individuals who are engaged in the manufacturing as well as the distribution of the products or services. So the main line organization depends. The term line management refers to those people of who are engaged in manufacturing as well as the distribution of the products. So the staff organization involves those individuals who are engaged in these activities to guide the line in achievement of its objectives. So the role and the environment of the human resource management has undergone an immense and vibrant change in the past 2 decades, like because of the revolutionary breakthrough in technology as well as reduction in trade barriers as well as the dynamic employee needs, etc. These all the factors affected the change of human resource management and made it as a vibrant change. So so this all terms has broadened the concept and the operations of human resource management. So if we talk about in 1976, Bargoni and Stuart created a different approach which is known as Lancaster model of managerial competencies, so which is a universal management competency framework. So this model identified 11 qualities which are characterized into 3 groups, and the first group is basic knowledge of the information, second is skill, and third one is meta qualities. Now we are going to discuss the characteristics of human resource management. The first characteristic is comprehensive managerial function. So human resource management is associated with managing the employees at the workplace. It manages all type of people from different levels. So it manages managers, supervisors, officers and workers, etc. So it is a comprehensive managerial function. By this we can understand. So the next characteristic is people oriented. The human resource management deals with employees as an individuals, as a group, and related them with the organization. So it brings people together in the organization in order to achieve the organizational goals. It aims at overall development of an individual so that they can fit the best with the company requirements. While coming to the third characteristic, it is task oriented. So the human resource management focus on the task achievement rather than keeping the record of the procedures. So it finds out the solutions to the problems in order to achieve both organizational and individual objectives. So by this we can say that human resource management is task oriented. So the next characteristic is development oriented. So the human resource management is concerned with the development of both organization as a whole and development of an individual in all dimensions. So it basically trains the employee how to be in an organization, how to work in an organization in order to achieve the organizational goals. So it develops the individuals so that they can achieve the organizational goals. The human resource management is future oriented. So it helps an organization to achieve the future objectives by providing the competent and well motivated personnel. So that includes the employees in an organization for the long term strategical plans of the organization. So these are the characteristics, and the next characteristic is globally oriented. In the present scenario, the human resource management is globally oriented function and is being practiced in all countries in almost all the organization. So many organizations treat the individual fairly with the respect and honor so that they can work for the organizational goals. So the next characteristic is it is continuous in nature. So the managing the human resource is not one shot function, or it is not a short period duration of function, so it is continuous and never ending process. So the human resource management requires continuous alertness, and awareness of human relations and their importance. So the next characteristic is challenging the function. So the management of the human resource is challenging task because it is dynamic in nature of the people. So individuals have sentiments, beliefs, and the emotions which were very hard to be tackled. So there should be, therefore, they should be handled tactfully. So that is the reason it becomes more challenging. So the human resource management is science as well as art. How we're gonna discuss. So it is a science and it is an organized body of knowledge with certain principles and techniques. So it is an art because it applies theoretical knowledge for the human resource problems. However, handling people is a creative art. So while going for the other characteristic, it is a staff function. So it is not directly participating in the manufacture or selling of the goods, but advise the operating department on the personal matters. So by this we can say that these are all the characteristics of human resource management. So the human resource management is a series of decisions that affects the relationship between the employees and the employer. So even it affects many constituencies and it is intended to influence the effectiveness of the work employees and the employers also. So while we discuss the objectives of the human resource management, so it is basically to guide the organization in attaining its goal, to achieve the goals of the organization of the business by providing well trained and competent workers or employees. So the other objective is effectively utilize the available resources, human resources especially according to the requirements, the like to employ the knowledge and skill of the employees in attaining the organization goals. So the next objective is to increase the job satisfaction and self actualization of the employees. So it is also concerned with the development and maintain the motivational power in the employees so that they can give their 100% to the organization. And it is also concerned with self respecting working relationship also among the organization and its members, that is their employees. So it is also involved in the development of individuals up to a maximum extent. So by providing them like necessary training and advancement to the employees, they are also involving in developing the individuals of the company, developing the employees of the company. They are making their abilities strong. So here they are, as well as they are making developing the abilities in the employees, as well as they are achieving the organizational goals also. So this human resource management is basically concerned with integrating the all the individuals and the groups within the organization, that is within the company, by relating individual and the group goals towards the organizational goals. So it is also basically concerned or focused in maintaining a good quality of work life, which makes people to get attracted towards the business. So if the quality of the work life is good, so many people wanted to join in this company so that they can achieve more success rate. So it is also concerned with the development and maintaining the high moral and cordial relationship with the organization. And it is also concerned with the development and maintaining the ethical policies and the behavior inside as well as outside the organization. So basically the human resource management treats or gives guidelines how should an employee behave in an organization, and it also guides the organization how to achieve its goals by giving respect to the employees. So it basically it is a practical knowledge, practical theory but that we have to apply in the organization. We are going to discuss the evolution of human resource management in India. So the Indian organizations have been implementing the functions of or the strategies of human resource management in formal sectors from long time. So with the emergence of the knowledge as well as the industry as well as the globalization, greater demand for skilled people was drastically increasing. So the evolution of HR function in India has resulted in development progress of specialized firms providing assistance to the organization in both transactional as well as high specialized areas of human resource management. So if we basically speak about the evolution, the HRM, the human resource management, one of the functional areas of management. So it is a new concept when compared to the study of management. The evolution of human resource management is linked with the that of management. So there is a evidence to say that management of the people is in an organization is quite old. So as an evidence, the concept of minimum wage rate and the incentive plans were included in Babylonian code, around which is formulated around 1800 BC. So even in India, Kautilya's Arthashastra specifies the sound based existence for the systematic management of people in early 320 BC. So that we can say that the evolution of HRM is not a new concept. So the concept which was followed by many years. So however, the origin of the HRM in India is traced in the beginning of 20th century with the labor welfare in the factories since 1920s. So since there has been a continuous development in the concept of human resource management in India. So if we discuss the human resource management in the Indian context, so the evolution and the development of human resource management in India was not voluntary like in countries like UK or USA. After the First World War, the country was in difficulties with various malpractices in the recruitment of the workers. So that resulted in adopting the concept of human resource management. Basically in 1931, the Royal Commission on Labour in India under the chairmanship of J.H. Whitley recommended the removal of jobber system. So on the recommendations of removal of this system, the appointment of labor officers in industries in India to take over the problem of recruitment and settle the grievances. So there were like they appointed the labor officers in the firms. So after independence, the Factory Act of 1948 laid down some qualifications and duties of welfare officers and also made it compulsory to appoint a labor officer in industry or a firm which employs more than 500 workers. So if there are more than 500 workers, you need to appoint a welfare officer for looking for the welfare of the workers there. So in this time in this after the independence 1948, after this time there were two institutions which were framed for looking into the traditional Indian industry which is concerned with the jute and cotton. So one is IIPM, that is Indian Institute of Personnel Management, which is settled in Kolkata, and the other one is National Institute of Labour Management, which is settled in Mumbai. So after the Second World War and the independence, there was a need and expectations of the workers also increased during this 1960s. So these two bodies, IIPM and NILM, merged into one and they formed a National Institute of Personnel Management with the headquarters at Kolkata. So developing through years, the approach shifted to human value approach rather than productivity through the people. So in 1980s, the new approach called human resource management. This is the period where the human resource management has been evolved. So, if we talk about the human resource management in this modern era, the nature of human resource management function in this modern era keeps on changing. So, today the human resource management is playing many roles, such as a strategic business partner, change agent, such as employee advocate. Besides being only an administrative expert, it has been in welfare as aspect also. So the time spent by the HR manager in administrative activities is decreasing day by day. So first, the major challenges faced by this HR managers are training training the functional area managers to develop and execute human resource practices. So, and it also facing problem on emphasizing the development strategies for future. So there the role of HRM in administrative activities is decreasing with innovations in technology, or most of the administrative activities like maintaining the records of the employees or registering the employees names in training and development program benefits and other programs, providing information to this employees, all this can be performed using technology. So internet is an outcome of the inventions in the technology, and usage of this internet in managing employee records and offering self service has decreased the role of HRM function because of this evolution of internet. So the role of human resource management has been decreased. So the role of HRM in administrative activities is decreasing due to the outsourcing practice also. So in outsourcing, companies allow other outside service providers or companies of third party to take up one or more administrative task of the company. So basically they are shifting their responsibilities to the outsourcing companies. So according to the survey, nearly 80% of the companies today they are outsourcing at least one of their HR functions. So for example, companies like many companies uh, like are going for outsourcing providers which offer various services like recruitment and training and payroll management or record management, etc. So for example, if we take a LinkedIn or any other job portals, so they are providing the outsourcing for the companies. So if the company want to hire anyone, they are not searching or they are not giving ads in the newspaper or they are not publishing any pamphlets. So they basically are logging into this LinkedIn account and they are hiring the people from that LinkedIn account. So here the LinkedIn is acting as a third party, as an outsourcer. So because of the evolution of technology, the functions of human resource management in the company are reducing. So earlier the HRM department was restricted to administrative expert. So it is used to solve the problems of the employees and ensure the equal pay for equal work and monitor labor contacts and ignore the legal complications. So only human resource issues were solved with had in the field of human resource management. Even though most of the companies which have not realized the importance of human resource management still follow the traditional method, there are some other companies which considered HRM as an important significant component for achieving success. So nowadays each and every company is adopting the strategies of human resource management. So this the technology has let down the value of human resource management by making by dividing the work. So the nature of human resource management function is changing because managers believe that human resource management is very significant aspect for gaining competitive advantage over the competitors. Thus like there is a direct link between the human resource activities and the company's success in gaining competitive advantage. So basically the human resource management is concerned with both the individual growth as well as the organizational growth in an company. So it basically concentrates with the human. Now we are going to discuss about the external factors which influence the human resource management in an organization. So the external environment factors involve in those factors which affect the human resource of an organization from outside the organization. The HR functions of any organization get influenced by these factors. So the HR manager needs to play an important role in balancing the expectations of external group with internal requirements and also achieving goals effectively and efficiently. So the first one, the external factor is economic factor. So India has been facing many economic problems like the low growth rate or high rate of inflation or growing level of unemployment even. So a tremendous decline in the capital output and the capital employment ratio has been observed in the last 5-year plan. So job market is also witnessing new problems due to the increased reservation in education and employment. So all these factors directly affect the wages as well as the salary levels. As a result, it influence human resource of an organization. So the other factor is demographic factor. So participation of women and scheduled caste and scheduled tribe in workforce have changed the composition of industrial workforce. So employees values have changed significantly due to the enhanced education. So importance is given to participation rather than the authority, and the quality of life instead of quantity. So job is considered as one of the attractive sources to become a complete person rather than just a center of the life. So workers are becoming more skillful day by day and maintaining a perfect balance between their work life and personal life too. So traditional difference between the manual as well as and the non-manual workers are becoming blurred. So equality is being demanded by the employees regarding the benefits at different levels and the categories of their employment. So the next factor is socio culture factor. So human resource management is generally affected by the class structure, religion, and occupational structure, and social values and other social and cultural factors. So emphasis is laid upon frequent increase in pay levels and the benefits of trade union also. So if we go for the next factor, political factor, government has introduced excessive laws to regulate the working conditions and the employment relations. So independence and democracy have widened the expectations of worker class. So political parties are creating major problems by forming multiple unions and encouraging union rivalry. So other factor is technology factor. The gap between the factory work and the office work has widened due to technological changes which led to change in the job content and social relations. Skills in handling machinery has become more important than craft skills for a job performance. So individual work is no more significant due to the high levels of interdependency. So all these factors which we have talked about are external factors which influence the human resource development of an organization. So if we look at the scope of HRM, we can say that the HRM is concerned with the procurement, the remuneration, as well as the motivation of the employees and maintenance of the organization of minimum standards of living for the employees, and it also concerned with maintaining the industrial relationship between the working class and the employees of the organization, and its basic nature is for creating an standard of living for the workers and looking for the workers welfare in the organization. So if we take about if you think about the scope of HRM, according to the Indian Institute of Personnel Management, the scope of HRM is limited to these three aspects. So the first one aspect is personal aspect. So if we speak about it, it is concerned with the manpower planning, recruitment and selection and placement, transfer of the employee, or promotion or demotion or termination or training and development. So this is the personal aspect is generally related with the employee personal aspect, employee view, the employee life in an organization. So the next aspect is welfare. So it deals with the working conditions and the amenities such as canteens or restrooms or lunchrooms or transportation facilities, medical assistance, the education, the health and safety of the working workers in an organization, and washing facilities and cultural facilities. It is based this welfare aspect ensures that the worker in an organization will not suffer any inequality, or he should be at its comfort stage. So the welfare aspect ensures the comfort of a worker, either all the basic amenities are provided for the worker or not. So if we speak about the industrial relationship, so it is concerned with the union management relations. So joint consultation or negotiation or collective bargaining between the firms, or any grievance handling due to any specific problem, or disciplinary action or settlement of machinery for industrial disputes. This also comes in this industrial aspect. So apart from this, and we have other examples of which this human resource management is concerned, and now we are going to discuss that one is, so this HRM concerns in human resource planning and recruitment and selection process for employing an worker in an industry, or placement, and it also takes into consideration of orientation and training and development programs which are given for a worker during the employment process, so that he can increase the ability of his working class. So it also analyzes on wage and salary administration also, so that ensure that the minimum wages are paid to the workers. As we discussed, the functions of human resource management as broadly classified into two types, that is operative function as, and the other one is managerial functions. So now we are discussing the operational functions. So the main function of operation is operational functions. The first condition is acquisition. So acquisition involves acquiring right kind of people and placing them in right position with the keeping an organization objective in the mind during the recruitment process. So the first condition is we have to place the right candidate for the job. So that is the main objective of the organization. And while coming for the next one, and this acquisition includes activities such as job analysis, or human resource planning, or selection, placement, or transfer, promotion and demotion too. So if we go for the next aspect, that is development. So development is the process meant to improve the knowledge, skill, aptitude, or the value of an employee, so that he can perform better and contribute to his job. So development includes activities like performance appraisal, training, career planning and career development in an organization of an particular employee. So if we speak about the next one, it is integration. So integration is a process of reconciling and reuniting the organizational goals with its members. There should be a integrated between the employees needs, employee goals and the organization goals, so that the organization can achieve its success. So if there is no link between the employees objectives and the organization or company's objective, the company can never attain the profits. So there should be a integration between the employee and the company. So integration includes like motivation, job satisfaction, and grievance handling or collective bargaining between the employees, and employee participation as well as discipline is also included in this aspect of integration. And the quality of work life is also included. So if we go for the next one, it is maintenance. So it is very easy. Maintenance includes activities like organizational health and human resource audit or human resource accounting in of an organization. So the next one is compensation. So compensation includes determination of wages or salaries matching with the contribution of the work which was made by the employees to achieve the organization goals. So it is basically how much work they have done, we are paying for that work. So compensation includes like job evaluation, wage or salary administration, and incentives or bonus or any benefits like transportation or food benefits for the employee in an organization. So these all are this all will be coming under the operative functions of an human resource development. Now we are going to discuss about the managerial functions of an human resource development. So now we are discussing the managerial functions. So the first function is planning. So planning is a predetermined course of action because we know what we should do in an organization before only. So it is concerned with the determination of organization goals and formulating the policies and following the procedure for attaining those goals of an organization. So planning is future oriented and gives the direction for attaining the goals, and forecasting is important element of this planning process. So if we go for the next one, that is organization. So organizing is a method of achieving the planned task. So it is a process of allocating the job in direction of achieving the goals. So organizing includes activities like allocation of tasks to subordinates or establishing some different departments to take care of particular fields, or delegation of authority, that is nothing but division of authority, or establishing channel of communication, or coordinating of work between the employees and the managers. So that makes us to attain the organization's goal. So the next function is directing. So directing is a process of activating or coordinating the individual and the group effect in order to achieve the goals of an organization. So directing includes activities such as maintaining moral, ethics, and getting things done by the subordinates, motivating subordinates in according with the goals of the company so that they can perform, so that they can give their best to achieve the objectives of the organization. So the next function is controlling. So the next function after the directing is controlling, which is the process of checking the performance to confirm whether the activities are going according to the plan which was made in the planning function or not. So controlling involves activities like setting up performance standards, checking, verifying, or comparing the actuality or the reality with the plans, and taking the correct action to achieve the success or to achieve the objectives of an organization. So basically the managing functions explain how an organization should follow to achieve its goals with complying with the objectives or plans of the employees. So this is concerned. We are going to discuss the importance of human resource management. So the human resource management plays a very crucial role in the current business environment. It is important for business organizations as well as to human resources who are working in that organization. So the first is importance in competency building. So the term competency building is a recent and widely used term, and it is used by the professionals, and among it is also used among the employees also. So the word which has been described competency building has been mentioned in the Michael Porter's book of competitive advantage. So this, what is the meaning of competency building is nothing but the value creation of the firm. So it helps in increasing the value of a firm in the market. So if we go for the next importance in human resource management, that is change management. So the human resource management plays a very essential role in managing change in the organization. So companies that have long run of success have demonstrated their abilities, and they have demonstrated their capabilities that they can adopt the latest technology which is available in the market. So they have taught the whole world that they should be, adaptability should be there in the business. So the changes or the challenges faced in the current scenario is that the clients from all over the world requires the operation of a business for 24 hours round the clock. And one more barrier is that the physical borders that have become obscured, we have to become a virtual global community. So that is also a big problem nowadays. So if we go for the other importance of HRM, that is strategic management. So according to Donald F Harvey, strategic management is a set of managerial decisions and actions that determine the long term performance of a corporation. So thus like the strategic human resource management emphasize monitoring monitoring the performance of the organization, evaluation of environment opportunities and threats with reference to corporation strength and weakness as well of a firm. So it basically guides that the role of HR as a strategic partner, role of HR in executing a strategy, or the role of a human resource officer in formulating a strategy. So while formulating a strategy, we have to take into consideration of SWOT analysis, which basically helps into analyze everything. If we think, if this SWOT analysis is not used in the business, there will be a huge loss. For example, many foreign countries have invested in this burger making process in this India, but India as a barrier, the beef is not legally sold, or the consumption of beef is considered as a wrongful thing in India. So while consumption of beef in international countries is a legal thing. So while they came with their ideology, they did not take this parameter into consideration. Because of this, they have created a much loss by investing in India. So we have to analyze a situation of a particular country if you want to keep a business. That is known as SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. The words in SWOT stands for. So and it also describes the importance of HRM for company managers. So the concepts and the techniques of human resource management are found to be essential for all managers in the firm. So the HR manager should follow the principles of human resource management to keep a track on hiring, and like if a company hired any incompetent individual for which is a not suitable job for him, the company may face many losses because of that. And they also need to identify the person who are below average performance in an organization. And even some companies will be wasting some time while doing interviews on candidates who are not qualified for the interview, and even filing a case against the company or a firm, that takes a lot of time and wastes the time of the company. So these all factors are dealt with the human resource management. So while we have to start any business in any particular place, we have to do every analysis which help us to get maximum profits out of that area. So that helps, this HRM helps in that one. Now we are going to discuss about this line organization and what is this one. So the people who are working under this organization, line organization, are generally termed as a line staff. So this line organization involves those individuals who are engaged in manufacturing and distribution of products or service of a particular organization. So this generally this line organization staff are in commanding relationship. So this line organization is a relationship which take place among two managers due to the delegation of authority and responsibility. So this line organization people or line managers has the authority to take the final decision in an organization. So line managers provide training to the members of the department for developing the capabilities of the employees. So in return, if we develop the capabilities of an employee, his output for or his efforts towards working for the objectives of an organization will be increasing. So this helps in turn to increase the production or the output of a firm. So these are the things which are related to this line organization. These are just basically the organization which is concerned with manufacturing and distribution of a product. So line managers take a decision relating to future training based upon the outcomes of the past training activities. So this line managers or the line organization is basically concerned in identifying and deciding the needs of the department training, and advises the employees on to focus on specific application, so that in order to attain maximum profits. And if we go through this staff organization, it basically involves those individuals who are engaged in an activity that guide the line organization in achieving the objectives of a firm. So generally this staff of is required in assisting the relationship. So this staff is the relationship assisting in the relationship which exists between two managers, due to which or taking an advice or guidance or information or counseling or attaining some uh, objectives of the company. So generally this staff organization people are basically main duty is to assist the rest of the staff in the organization. So the staff managers have authority to assist line managers in making quick decisions, while the complete authority of making decisions lies on the line managers, but the staff managers assist them. So generally this staff organization is concerned with assisting power. So the staff managers help in bargaining with the union trade. For example, if the trade union of a particular organization demands anything, so then the staff organization people will be going for bargaining the demands of the unions. So generally the unions of the organization are controlled by the line organization staff. So the staff members help in this bargaining the trade union and on company negotiations as well. So they generally act as a spokesperson or an advisor of a management. So the staff managers provide conference leadership in some types of training and analyzing the results. So this staff managers or staff authority people generally concerned with assisting the rest of the firm. So they generally assist the firm how to what procedure or what strategy should be followed to achieve a maximum profit or to gain maximum production. So the staff managers who are of staff organization conducts research for formulating the overall plan and the objectives and the responsibilities and the needs for enhancing the outside contract and information. Generally, to term in one word, the staff managers are the masterminds behind an organization in one word. So the line organization controls, like they function as per the strategies formulated by this staff organization. Even though this staff organization will not have much authority, they are in formulating the plans. Now if we discuss the merits and demerits of both line and staff organization, so these organization of line and staff help in attaining operating efficiency of the function of the management of an organization. So through specialization, by exercising control through undivided delegations and authority, so this line and staff organization members take responsibilities and proceed with that one in order to achieve maximum profit. So it basically follows the organization objectives. So it provides several benefits. So the decision can be made easily in the type of this organization. So as the organization consists of line as well as staff functions, so the functions or the authority is divided among these two organizations, so that it makes easy in taking decisions. So that if there is any sole proprietorship, so every decision should be taken by that chairman. But in this organization, so some decision to some extent can be taken by these members in order to increase the efficiency of the firm. So as the line and staff organization depends upon specialized knowledge, managerial and operational problems of the firm can be easily solved by these experts. So many opportunities are provided by line and staff organization for the improvement of the workers in an organization in order to achieve maximum production or to reach the high production level. So if we talk about the demerits of the line and staff organization, the line and staff organization faces a danger of developing misunderstanding between these two organizations. So sometimes line organization have a complete should completely depend upon this staff or officers at the work. So that leads to controlling the power. So that may lead to some misunderstanding between the workers. So lack of authority may be so this when we concerned with this line and staff authority organization authority, so they don't have complete authority to implement the recommendations of the customers. They can only follow the guidelines which are issued to them in respective to each other, but they can't implement a new plan or a new strategy which has not been formulated yet. So these are the merits and demerits of a line and staff organization. So generally if we see from the picture, the human resource management is concerned with training of an employee as well as recruitment of an employee of an organization, and rewarding or looking after the employee, how is he performing or how she is performing. And it also creates the business value, and it also teaches leadership skills, and it evaluates the performance of an of a employee, and it is basically concerned with the human in an organization. So this is the end for this module 1, and we are going to discuss many topics in module 2, 3 and 4. So in this topic we have discovered the importance, the scope and the characteristics and the external factors which are influencing this human resource management, and we also learned about the importance of human resource management in the business scenario. And thank you for watching the video.